What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be getting into my Week 8 NFL predictions. It's crazy that it's already Week 8. But anyway, let's see what I did last week, what I got right and what I got wrong. Starting out with the Saints versus the Cardinals game, I did pick that one right. The Cardinals got the win. I did pick the Bengals to beat the Falcons. Titans beat the Colts in that game 19-10, and I got that one right. I did pick the Green Bay Packers to bounce back against the Commanders. Couldn't quite get it done. The Washington Commanders pulled off an upset, although I do believe I said that as an upset alert. This one I was not expecting at all. The Carolina Panthers the Buccaneers travel to Carolina and lose to the Panthers by a lot, 21-3. Surprising upset. Got that one wrong. That one I was not expecting at all. I did pick the Jaguars. I originally picked the Giants, but I flipped it because I thought the Jaguars were going to be able to pull off an upset, but the Jaguars couldn't quite get it done near the end there and just couldn't win that game. Right there. Did pick the Ravens to beat the Browns. They survived that one. I did pick the Cowboys to beat the Lions. I was very tempted to go upset there, but I didn't. The Cowboys won. So I got that one right. I did pick the Jets to beat the Broncos. Originally, I picked the Broncos with Russell Wilson in, but he was out. I do think they probably win that game if Russell Wilson is in, but he wasn't. I do think the Raiders beat the Texans. I did pick the Raiders to beat the Texans, right there. I did pick the Chargers to beat the Seahawks, but I was very tempted to go Seattle in that game, and the Seahawks got the big win over Los Angeles. Did pick the Chiefs to beat the Niners. Got that one right. Did pick the Dolphins to beat the Steelers, and I got that one right. And then the game I was not expecting, probably even more than the Buccaneers game, was the Patriots at home against the Bears. That one was a surprising loss there. Ultimately, I do believe I went, 3-3, 7, 8, 9. 9-5, which is solid. I'm 69-38 on the year, which is pretty darn good, I would say. Let's keep it rolling in this next week. Starting out with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tonight hosting the Baltimore Ravens. A big game today. Tampa Bay is coming off a very disappointing loss in their previous game to the Panthers. Tom Brady's got to get some things going here. For the Baltimore Ravens, coming off that big win over the Browns in their previous game. So in this game, I do think that this defense for the Buccaneers, I think that they're going to be able to step it up, play a lot better against the Ravens, but I do think Lamar Jackson has been pretty solid to start out the year. I do expect Tom Brady to not have nearly as bad of a game. He's playing in, I would say, even an easier defense than Baltimore. So I am going to go with the upset here at home. I think Baltimore bounces back, but if they can't, they're probably going to have to drop quite a bit. Let's move on down here. We're going to have the Denver Broncos. This is the London game, playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. Russell Wilson's in this game. I do think that this Denver Broncos offense, this is the week, if any, for them to have a big week. Playing a bad Jacksonville Jaguars defense, I think this offense is going to be able to get some things going, potentially score 20 points this week. Russell Wilson have a good game. I do think this Broncos defense is going to make life miserable for Trevor Lawrence. This Broncos offense hasn't shown much, but I'm going to put my faith in Russell Wilson one more time. If it doesn't happen, I don't know what to think at this point. I am going Broncos, though. Let's move on down here. We're going to have the Falcons. I do believe Russ is starting, but let me just come back. If Russ isn't starting, I am going to pick the Jaguars. I don't think Rippon's going to be able to beat the Jaguars. Let's go here. The Carolina Panthers travel to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. The Falcons have had a 3-4 start to the year. A surprise, definitely for me. I like the Falcons. I think they're a solid football team. The Panthers, very surprising upset last week. I do think this defense is going to have a decent game against this Falcons offense. I do believe the Falcons beat the Panthers earlier on this year. Is this their first matchup between these two? Let me check real quick. Sorry about this, guys. Let me just pull this up. No, they didn't. Okay, so they haven't played. Yeah, I am going to go Falcons in this one. I do think they're the better team, and I think the Panthers aren't going to be able to replicate that success from last week. But this could be a big upset, guys. Let's move on down here. We're going to have the Chicago Bears traveling to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Let's see if Justin Fields can do this good against the Cowboys defense. He was able to do pretty darn good against a Patriots defense last week. But yeah, I think this Cowboys team is clearly more talented than the Bears. Like, by a long shot, they should win this game, especially being at home. I'm going to have to go Cowboys. All right, let's move on down here. We're going to have the Miami Dolphins traveling to Detroit to take on the Lions. Must-win game for the Detroit Lions here. Playing a very tough defense. I'm not expecting this offense to get going for Detroit really at all here. On the Miami side of the ball, I think this is the perfect primetime situation for Miami to get some things moving. I just do not see an upset here really at all here. The Detroit Lions just match up horribly with the Dolphins there, so I'm going to take Miami. Let's move on down here. We're going to have the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Minnesota Vikings here. Vikings at 5-1 coming off the bye week. Big game. Arizona. I think this Arizona offense in this game, with DeAndre Hopkins back, they were able to do some good things against the Saints. I think they're going to replicate some success and have a good week. Vikings coming off the bye week. Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson on this run game. I'm not a big fan of this Arizona defense, so I think this is going to be a big-time shootout here in this game. Vikings, they have played some closer games. They've gotten a lot of wins. I think this is one where they're going to lose. I know they're coming off their bye week. They're going to be ready for this game against the Cardinals. But the Cardinals also kind of are on a bye week too. They played on Thursday night last week. And I think with DeAndre Hopkins, this Cardinals team could be a scary football team. And I think Cardinals are going to survive in a shootout matchup. Let's move on down here. We're going to have the New Orleans Saints hosting the Las Vegas Raiders here. The Raiders just completely obliterated the Texans. Saints in need to get a win after losing to the Cardinals. I do think Andy Dalton's going to start for this game again. He has made two big mistakes. That one of those pick sixes were not his fault, but the other one was, and he did throw a big interception in the end zone. So Andy Dalton did not have a great game last game for the Saints. But I think he is going to be able to get some things going against not a great Raiders defense. I do think this Raiders pass rush can get to him, though. And then on the other side of the ball, this Saints defense has been very disappointing. I don't think that the Raiders are going to have any trouble picking apart this defense. I'm going to take the Raiders. Let's move on down here. We're going to have the New York Jets hosting the New England Patriots. In this game, a big matchup here. Bill Belichick needs to bounce back. A very disappointing loss for the Patriots, and I think that the Patriots are going to have a better game this game. I think this defense is going to be able to step it up a lot more. I think this is going to be a slugfest type game. And I think without the Jets' run game with Breece Hall, I know they got Robinson, but that's just not going to be as good. Zach Wilson's going to have to beat the Patriots probably, at least by a decent amount. And I'm not sure if he can do that. I do think Mac Jones for the Patriots is going to step it up in this game. I'm going to take an upset on the road, New England, pulling off the win. I think Bill Belichick has his team ready for this one. But, yeah, I could see this game going either way here. All right, let's move on down here. We're going to have the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. Eagles are undefeated, and you like Philadelphia. They're 6-0. And, yeah, the Steelers, I think Mike Tomlin might be able to keep this game competitive for the Steelers. But the Steelers' offense just completely outmatches the Steelers' defense. And then the Eagles' defense completely outmatches the Steelers' offense. So I think the Eagles are clearly going to have the advantage in this one and are going to beat the Steelers. Let's move on down here. What have the Tennessee Titans traveling to Houston to take on the Houston Texans? Texans, in my opinion, are the worst team in the league. But yeah, Tennessee. The run game in this game. I do think this game could be more competitive than a lot of people think. I think that Davis Mills and this Texans offense is going to get some things going against the Titans defense. Some things going. Keyword some. I do think this is the Texans offense is going to be outwitted in this game. Ultimately, I just think the Titans are the more talented and the better coached team. Do think this Texas team is very well coached, but the talent is obviously just very not great at all. And I think it's just going to come out back to bite them, and they're going to lose this football game. But I do think this game could be competitive, and watch out for an upset in a division rivalry game in Houston. All right, we got a big matchup here. The Washington Commanders taking on the Indianapolis Colts would be a Carson Wentz revenge game, even though he's only there for 1 year. But he is not playing. Obviously, he's injured. But Taylor Heinicke looked very solid in his previous matchup against the Green Bay Packers. This Colts defense has been not great to start of the year. They definitely have some talent, but it hasn't been a very good unit. I don't think Washington's going to be able to get 3 straight wins, though, here. I do think Frank Wright and the Indianapolis Colts, they're going to be able to run this football quite a bit, and I think the run game for both these teams is going to be big in this game. But I do trust the Colts defense and this Colts offense just a little bit more than the Commanders. I know we don't know what we're getting out of their quarterback without Matt Ryan there, but I'm going to go Colts there. Let's move on down here. We're going to have the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Los Angeles Rams in a division rivalry matchup. Big game here. Niners, they need to get a win here. They've gotten embarrassed over the past couple of weeks. I still have faith in this Niners team. Rams coming off the bye week. We're going to see if Sean McVay can get his team going here. I do think this Rams offensive line is going to get shredded by this pass rush by the Niners here, and that's just been the concern for the Rams. Whenever they run into the team with a very good pass rush, they're not going to have a very good game. And I think that's going to replicate here. And I just don't trust the Rams defense. The way we've seen the Rams play, I know Sean McVay probably is going to have his team. I think this game is going to be competitive. I do think Sean McVay is going to have this team ready, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think the Niners are the better team here in this game. All right, let's move on down here. A big game. Who would have thought this would be probably the best game this week? The Seattle Seahawks hosting the New York Giants. Seattle 4-3, just absolutely dominating the Chargers in their past game, and then the Giants 6-1 start. Wow, really surprising start from New York. I do think this is gonna be a very solid matchup here. Geno Smith, Daniel Jones. Geno Smith has been very solid. I think this run game for the Seattle Seahawks is going to be able to really play a good game against the Giants defense. Who's been pretty solid, but I do think the Seahawks offense, it does have a little bit of an advantage off down there. And then the Seahawks defense, can they have a better game here? Can they keep this rolling against New York? I'm not sure. I do think Brian Daboll's going to be able to exploit some of his weaknesses in this defense here, especially that run attack. But in a hostile environment, I think Geno Smith is going to lead his team to a victory, and the Seattle Seahawks going to take down the big Giants. All right, a primetime game. I would have thought this would be one of the best games entering into the year. It is really looking like not that, but the Buffalo Bills hosting the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay 3-4. This is a must-win game, no doubt about it. And this is not a very good team to go up against if you want a must-win. Aaron Rodgers got to get some things going on that side of the football. I think this Bills defense is the better team. I do think a lot of people are counting out Green Bay. Maybe they just need to be the underdog for a game. I do think this is going to be a lot more competitive than a lot of people think. I am going to take the Bills, though. I think that there's just too many weaknesses that Green Bay's shown through the first 7 weeks of football for me to pick them against the best team in the league. But I think Aaron Rodgers and this team is going to be able to find some things and maybe have a little bit of optimism coming out of this one. But Bills are just the better team, and I think they're going to be able to win that game. All right, must-win game here for Cleveland. The Bengals travel to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Browns at 2-5. They need to win this game so desperately if they want to have any chance for Deshaun Watson to bring their team into the playoffs when he comes back. For the Bengals, yeah, I mean, the Cincinnati Bengals been a very solid last game, but it's been an inconsistent year. Jamar Chase, I do believe he is out for some time. If I am not mistaken, yeah, he is out for 4 to 6 weeks. So that's going to be just difficult, but this Browns defense has been very underwhelming to start out the year. Watch out for an upset here. I think that Kevin Stefanski is going to be able to run this ball all over the Bengals, but it's not going to be enough. Cincinnati is the better football team. So anyway, guys, thank you all for watching this video today. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the comment. Comment down below your predictions. And anyway, peace out.